How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which was down 3.71% on the Friday. So I know I'm going to be getting a lot of questions. What do you see this stock doing for the coming week? We'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $18.15, being down 3.71%. On the low, it tested $17.43, and then on the high, testing $19.08. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 25.372 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 24.107 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, and we've seen a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 38.21. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's clear to see that Lucid is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages. So we ended up testing a low at $17.43. So going into Monday, if we have a pullback even further, even though we did close at $18.15, I'd want to see if we could continue to hold up the $17 level. This would be very important because, as we pointed out in the previous videos, if we break through 17 bucks, we can start visiting support here all the way down to around $16.10. So that's an area you're going to want to keep an eye on, especially for the coming week if it doesn't come on Monday. But again, I only see this occurring if we continue to see weakness in the markets. If we decide to have a turnaround and we have some more buying coming in, I want to see Lucid getting back to the $20 range, most preferably reclaiming the 21-day EMA, which is at $20.17. And if it could reclaim $20.17, then we want to see if it can make that move going to around $22. Again, this is a lot to ask. We're looking for a market reversal for this to occur. So as far as what it's looking like right now at the moment, if we can get some price action above $19, that would be a good look due to the fact that the high of the day on the Friday was at $19.08. So let's see what the stock does tomorrow. Let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 6, we have Index IQ Advisors LLC that purchased 85 shares, and then we also have Plante Moran Financial Advisors LLC that purchased 950 shares, and then we also have Tortoise Investment Management LLC that purchased 4 shares as well. So those are the filings we have for the 6, and we have a closed position for Independent Advisors Alliance, and all of them have just been value changes that we see here. And of course, for the negatives, for example, we could see CIBC Asset Management Inc. that reduced their position by 30%, and we also see the State Board of Administration of the Florida Retirement System reducing their positions by 33.18%. But we also have Quadrant Capital. Looks like they have a value change, increasing their position by 21.74%. So now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 61.78%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 6.46 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 500,000, updated just now, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 8.60%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 5th, it is at 67.22, and then for the close of the 6th, being at 61.7. 0.78. So what does this show us? Yes, Lucid does have short squeeze potential, with the short interest percentage of the float being at 19.01%. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 67.73 million, and then on the outflow it was at 91.01 million. So we ended up having an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 1.10, on the medium it was 35.46, and then on the small it was 31.17. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 0.80, on the medium it was 51.29, and then on the small it was 38.92. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for the close of the 6th, which was a Friday that just passed, it was at 0.3 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.52%. So this is not too bad for a stock like Lucid, and this is also a consistent range we've always been seeing on this channel. So this shows us there's still many who are holding on to their positions, and as far as the liquidity of the stock, things are still going in the right direction. We're not seeing a ton of traders going in and out of this play as well. So let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, when it comes to the price action, so we ended up seeing a low of $17.44. And if you guys remember, we wanted to see some strength right around $17.50. So since it did break below this and we are seeing a lot of weakness in the markets, I want you to be aware of where this stock could possibly go. So we want to see some strength right at $17. And if it breaks through $17, then the next area of support you want to see hold up is around $16.10. And if that breaks, of course, Lucid will be going down into the $15 range. So again, add that to your homework if you're looking to trade off of those levels, or maybe you might be a long-term investor. As far as making a move to the upside, Lucid needs to go back to $20. That's where we can start saying, well, you know what, things are starting to reverse, and then we want to see that momentum continue to see it make that move going to $22. As far as seeing that for this coming week, I'm personally not seeing that. But if we can get to $20, I feel that would be quite the accomplishment for this stock. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we can see institutions have loaded up on shares. We also do see some institutions have reduced their positions as well, but the fact that institutions are still buying in is always a good sign. And then taking a look at the short interest information, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, and there's no surprises there. And another thing that I want to talk about, because many people are saying, well, you know what, this stock is just going to continue to sell off. And you know what, I agree if we continue to see weakness in the markets, but one thing we have to pay attention to, Lucid did say as far as offerings are concerned, they're not going to be looking to do any for this year, but in the year of 2023. So I think this can give a lot of investors confidence, and when this sell-off in the market is actually slowed down and things start to pick back up, I could see Lucid going for a run. So that is one thing you want to keep an eye on, keeping an eye on the overall sector, knowing what's going on in tech, seeing if there's momentum in the EV sector, because taking all of these variables in place, I feel as far as for what the market is going to be looking like for this week, since we are talking about the short term, we could see further weakness. But keep in mind, the market has been selling off quite a bit, and there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of uncertainty. And we also have some key stats that are going to be coming out for this month as well. So there's going to be a lot of volatility. So for my traders out there that want to be inside of Lucid, I do see where you could take advantage. And for my long-term investors, I would continue to be patient. A lot of people are deciding to actually sit on their cash, because if we continue to see weakness, then what's the point of continuing to buy these stocks when they are going to be going down even lower, especially as this year progresses. So that is why I say if you want to get into this play as far as for the long-term prospects, I would use a DCA approach. And what does that mean? Dollar cost averaging. So that means you're buying into the stock even though that is continuing to pull
pull back. But only do this if you have high conviction. If you don't have high conviction in the play, then I highly suggest you do not take that option. I'm just emphasizing this because I know there's a lot of people that say, you know what, I want to buy into this stock. I don't mind buying on the dip. And then when it pulls back, they start complaining and say, well, you know, oh man, why did I put my money in this? So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Let's see how Lucid performs going into Monday. And of course, I will continue to keep you guys updated. We'll talk soon.